minutes, I'd like to just address a few questions regarding notice and allocation issues in the context of Chinese drywall litigation. Chinese drywall litigation is effectively construction defect litigation. And construction defect litigation is notorious for its insurance-related issues and insurance-related problems. And I think that's a factor of, or that's a result of two principal factors. Number one, there are substantial lag times in construction between the time that the work is put in place and the time that problems or claims arise. And that can create a number of issues, including notice issues. In addition, there are multiple policies that are being maintained by various parties, including the owner, the GC, and the subcontractors. And you have multiple provisions in those contracts that can provide additional insured coverage for other parties. All of that is to say that you've got a fairly complicated mix of insurance policies and provisions which can create some challenges when it comes time to establish insurance coverage for claims such as claims for Chinese drywall. Let me start off with some issues regarding notice. F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote that the best place to start is at the beginning. And with respect to insurance claims, notice is the very first event that is the trigger point to establish the rights and duties and obligations of not only the insured, but also the insurer. It is a uniform, almost universal requirement under insurance policies, whether those policies are property, CGL, or E&O. We all have seen the language requiring timely and prompt notice, but the question is what does that mean in the context of the knowledge of the insured? Because it is essentially the knowledge of the insured that drives the requirement of timely and proper notice. But the requirements under the policy are broader than simply knowledge of a claim. It's not simply that you know a claim has been presented, but rather you know that there are circumstances which may lead to a claim that would be subject to the terms of the policy. And in the context of insurance, and particularly in the context of construction, you go back into the files, and it's remarkable sometimes the type of correspondence that you see long before there's been any type of notice of a claim to the insurance carriers. And therefore, I would caution attorneys included, when you start writing letters, banging on people saying that they've got defective work that they've got to correct, and you have demands out there for indemnity, and you have demands for defense, the issue and the question that should be raised is that prompting and triggering an obligation to put the carrier on notice? Because I can guarantee you that once the notice goes to the carrier, the first thing that the adjuster does is he goes into the correspondence files and says, when did this thing start? And the longer these things go back in time, the more problematic it is as far as the timeliness of the notice.